Hey, what is up, Dudes? This is Dudediligence here. Since I cannot fall asleep because I took too many ibuprofen, I might as well just make this video. So this video is about MMAT. A lot of you guys are asking me, do I think it already bottomed out? Because right now it's $1.69. And I know a lot of you are saying, hey, I just want to get more. I have like 10K shares, 20K shares, 50K shares. I don't even know what your cost basis is. But here's my spiel of the stock, okay? So if we take down our memory lane, we go back to MMATF, which is what this ticker used to be, right? It's traded on the Canadian market. It went from $2.86 all the way to about $13.65 on the Canadian market, right? On the OTC Canadian market in about less than 2 months, actually. In less than 2 months, it increased by sixfold, right? 600% or more than that, actually. And then back then, the outstanding share of MMATF is 106 million, okay? So the total market cap is 147 billion, right? Okay, so let's look at what we have right now. So if we go look at MMAT's market cap right now. So at 1.69 US dollar, the market cap is 475 million. Okay, so let's do the exact same math. So in order for 1.47 billion to go down to 475, what needs to be changed? So here's what needs to be changed. 475, so basically it's this 475, right? So 995 million over 1.47 equals to actually 995 divided by 147, 67.68. okay, so it has to go down by about 68%. So right now, how much have we been going down? Just stock price wise. You guys will understand why I did this. So so this is just all pure math here. 1.69 divided by 0.69 equals to 2.44. Actually, wait, what? It doesn't make any sense. No, actually, I did it wrong. So 1.69 divided by 1 minus 0.69. So it's actually divided by 0.331 equals to 5.45. So basically what it means right now is at around $5.45 is the equivalent of the value when MMAT was traded as MMATF on the OTC market when the price is $13.65. That means when it's at MMATF, when it's traded at $13.65, it is how many times overvalued? So $13.65 divided by 5.46, 2.5x. So it's 2.5x overvalued. So basically, that means the height of FOMO was at 1365, right? And then if you think about it, if it's traded at 2.5 max value, that means when we're taking a discount of what we're trading it right now, we have also to think about what does it really mean by the 2.5 multiplier that they had when it's at the highest amount. Or simply put, what does it mean is, what happens when it goes under 1.69? Or what happens, like, what is the equivalent of, let's just make it simple. What's the equivalent? So if you go like at all time, right? If you go look at all time, the stock is stagnant from basically $0.5 to about $0.6 or $0.53, like stagnant for about 1 year. This is 2 year, 2 year, and then 2 year, right? So 2 for 6 years. So what does it mean when our market right now is basically going to a recession, and then it's probably going to go back down to where it was at before on the OTC market. Probably give it a little bit more, you know, SAS or multiplier, because it is on the Nasdaq now. Supposedly it will have more liquidity, but in reality, from January 2020 all the way to February 2022, think about it. Is there anything actually changed in the metamaterials own operations? Do you see, you know, any material change? Like, did they actually make revenue? Did they made any, you know, significant improvement on their product? Did they actively trying to, you know, influence the distribution channel? Did they land a big contract? Did they land a big OEM that wanna help them do their things? Did they actively change their business model? None of that was a yes. But what was changed is they used to have $150 million in cash. Now they only have $50 million in cash. They bought another company that barely makes any revenue. Well, on paper, it barely makes any revenue, but if you trim down a lot of these deductions, it might or might not make about $1 million in Canadian dollars every single year. But you also need to take account of, you know, everybody on the management team takes money from the company, and they got paid a lot, and then the company itself doesn't really make that much money. So basically what's the purpose of the video is we're trying to figure out if we're going back down to normal for metamaterial, because basically nothing have changed over the past 2 years. How much would it actually worth on the Nasdaq? So then we can figure out how much when it will bottom out. So let's see how much when it bottom out. So 1 point divided by 13, let's use 1365. So about 3%, right? Okay, so 1365 equals to 5.65. So 3.3% of that. So basically, the bottom of the bottom, or the normalized price, will be about 20 cents, okay, for MMAT. That's where, you know, we don't take account of all of the free cash flow they have. Even if we take account of all the free cash flow, we give it a 2x multiplier. When will it bottom out? It will bottom out somewhere around $0.32. And a lot of you are going to be like, it's literally impossible. It's going to go down to 0.32 because it's going to get delisted. So, so then they has to go through a reverse split. It's the absolute verdict. If you look at this chart, it's clear that the probability of a rebound back to the previous support line of $3 is super low, because the entire trend line, if you believe in trends, is actually going down. And then because it's been going down for so long, that gives RSI a spiking sort of formation, which just means it will spike up a little bit more and it will just go down. And then translate onto a stock graph would just be, on one day it might increase by about 15% on the day, but on the second day, the buying volume and then the actual buying effect of the stock will not last longer than like 2 days. So the top cumulative change from the baseline of 1.69 will be 30% of 1.69. So right now we can actually draw the range on 1.31. Let's just give it 31%. So to 2.21. So for a short term or for a medium term, especially for the next 2 quarters, you're looking at an upside of 2.21 and a downside to about 0.32. I don't care if you are in this for long term. I don't care if you just like the stock. It is your, like, we're not financial advisors. We don't give financial advices. Everything we say on this channel is for shits and giggles. But you gotta be responsible for your own money. And then you gotta decide whether it is worth it to take on a risk that's cumulatively or significantly higher than its upside. Is it even worth it? Or like one of the most simple questions you have to ask yourself is, did this company fundamentally change in the past 2 years? What are some key events? What have it changed really in terms of its core operations, or even its funding cycle? Does it, is the cost structure, like for example, the operation cost going down? No, it's keep going up. Did the CEO take less revenue, or did the CEO take less salary? No, they didn't. Did they keep hiring more people? Yes, they did. So if the cost structure keeps going up, the actual revenue driver stays the same or actually going down because we're going to a recession, that means what? Right? The upside is significantly smaller than where the downside is go. So where the stock's gonna go? I mean, you guys can be like, hey, we're gonna invest in 6 years. Sure. If you in 6 years, it at least are probably worth $4. Otherwise, you probably already get delisted, right? Because even if you just use the simple compounding rule of a 6% annually for 7 years, right? You have Moore's law and everything. It has to go over $4. Otherwise, it's not even worth your money. Or otherwise, it just means this business doesn't have any growth, right? Does that make sense? So is it better? Like a lot of you, I think what you were thinking right now is, hey, I have like a couple of $1,000 in here. And then because I can control a lot of shares, because, maybe $1,000, I can buy like over 1,000 shares of this. But if you trying to invest in stuff like Apple or Tesla or anything that's a little bit safer or have more liquidity, which just means they have less slippery costs, right? Or slipperage, you probably can only buy 2 or 3 shares. But in the long run, if you just buy Apple or if you just buy something, it's more steady, maybe you can only buy 10 shares or 20 shares. But every 10 shares or 20 shares, it increased by $2 or $3 on your, on your whatever your return cycle basis or holding period is. Every time you sell it, it increased by $2 or $3. That means your cumulative gain will be at least $40 every time you sell it. But in the terms of MMAT, you guys are basically trying to say is, hey, I can buy 1,000 shares and it might increase by $1. I will make $1,000. But $1 of 1.69 is literally 59%. The probability of a stock going over 59% is very, very low. We're looking at a low probability event here, okay? It's a mega low probability event here. Even if you look at all of these, meme or whatever, like FOMO stock, it's actually, we're looking at 2 standard deviation. Like we're talking about 2 standard deviation above the mean. That means this is 68%, 95%. You only have like literally 1 standard deviation, 2 standard deviation. You only have about 95%, about less than 2.5% chance of that comes to fruition. If we are trying to use the even higher level probability distribution, the probability of you making profitable, or if you become profitable by investing in this stock compared to the probability of you become profitable than Apple or any of the blue chip stocks that maybe just move a little bit slower. In Apple, you have about 65% edge that whenever you buy in, even if you just buy right now, right? You have a 65% up edge. In here, you're looking at a 2.5% chance of hitting your profit target as if you're investing in Apple. So why would you invest in this? Right? I'm just trying to be rational here, guys. I am not shorting the stock. I'm just being rational because a lot of you are asking me, whether it bottomed out or not. I don't think it bottomed out. Honestly, I don't. And this is it for this video. I mean, I'm trying to be honest. You guys can, shit on me on Twitter or whatever and asking people that, why I have followers. The reason why I have followers is because I'm telling you guys the truth, and a lot of people, like, no matter what, when, like, you know, you guys can laugh at me when it's at $2.8 and we sold, you know, 1/3 of a position, and you know, a lot of you probably don't even actively trade every single day. Then what? In about like 4 months, 6 months, it's now half of that price. Who's laughing now? Who is, you know, making fun of us now, right? Time is the ultimate measuring factor in a market, and trading is a survival game. It doesn't matter, you know, all of these unrealized returns around here. You guys are like, oh my god, it's increased by this and this, I didn't sell it. But if you didn't sell it, that just means you have wealth on paper. They're not actually wealth in general. Hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say here, and this is it for the video. Hope you guys like it, and you know, if you like this kind of content, smash the like button and subscribe. Or you can just leave a shitty comment and just say, hey, you suck, or you know, keep tagging us on Twitter and telling everyone that we're dumb. Sure, we're saying that, you know, it's probably gonna reverse split. Believe or not, it's totally up to you. See you guys on the upside. Have fun.